Now on Sunrise, tragedy in Northeast Portland. Police are searching for the mother of a toddler who died from a suspected fentanyl overdose. Plus, the man who murdered 2 people in a case of mistaken identity learns his fate, what the victims' families had to say in court. Your news starts now. Good morning, and thanks for joining us on this Saturday morning. I'm Libby Dowsett with Daisy Caballero. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you. Welcome to
yes,
you.
welcome to me.
We're so excited to welcome you to the Morning Sunrise show from here on out.
Very excited to be
here. Awesome. And hey, let's take you right out the door, or show you, rather, what's going outside through the satellite and radar. Mother Nature changing it up once again for us. Clouds are rolling on in, and it's not just clouds. Light scattered showers are also in the forecast for today for parts of the coastline, and then also up and down the I-5 corridor as well. So let's zoom on in and kind of show you that. Astoria is really the only coastal city that has seen any measurable amount of rain so far today. But of course that could be changing, because look at these cells kind of just moving on over, passing through parts of the I-5 corridor towards Vancouver and Mill Plain as well. So this will really continue for the next 24 to 48 hours. Like I said, Astoria is the only area that has seen any measurable amount of rain. 61 degrees out at PDX, and yes, it's a bit cloudy. Officially, we may be seeing some sun breaks, but for the most part, it's going to be a cloudy day. Looking at your temperatures right now, 58 degrees for Troutdale, 54 for Happy Valley. Good morning for folks in Westland, 56. 63 over in the Dalles, and 55 degrees for Tillamook. Portland, your day at a glance. 65 degrees, partly cloudy skies by noon. And then cloudy conditions, 70 degrees by 5 o'clock. Libby, back to you.
Not too bad. Thanks, Daisy. New this morning, a crash involving a pedestrian shut down a major road in Northeast Portland. Northeast Lombard is shut down between 13th and 22nd Avenues after a driver hit a pedestrian at 17th and Lombard. The pedestrian was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Investigators tell us the driver did stay at the scene and has been detained. We'll keep you updated as we get more information. A Portland neighborhood is in shock this morning after a toddler died in a suspected fentanyl overdose. The 2-year-old girl was in cardiac arrest when first responders got to the scene. This happened Thursday at a home on Northeast 6th and MLK. Police have spoken with several adults in the girl's life, but they haven't spoken with the girl's mother. At this point, they haven't arrested anyone. Police say based on evidence found in the child's home and information from the hospital, they believe fentanyl was a factor in the girl's death. We talked with Portland Fire and Rescue, and they tell us all drugs are more dangerous for kids, especially fentanyl. It's 50 times more powerful than heroin.
I'm hopeful that we don't have situations where we have families that are living in the threat of this possibly happening. But I'm also hopeful that we can get everybody who's addicted to it, whether they're on the streets or they're housed, and we can find pathways for them to get out of it. It is extremely, extremely addictive.
And since the start of 2023, police have dealt with 513 fentanyl overdoses, including 14 children. They say most cases ended in death. If you have any information on this case, you're asked to call Portland Police. And that case comes as some college campuses in Clark County are adding fentanyl test strips to the mix in order to try to reduce the number of overdoses. Washington State University, Vancouver is just one of several, also working to get staff in residence halls to be trained in administering Narcan. Fentanyl test strips have been illegal in some states, but they've been legalized in Washington. Officials we talked to say for those people who are not intending to do fentanyl, this could save lives.
I think the opportunity for fentanyl test strips to really save lives is when they're made available to individuals that are using drugs and not expecting those drugs to be fentanyls. They can make different decisions about whether they're going to use or how they might use around other people, or have an overdose remedy like Narcan available.
WSU Vancouver says they will have distribution implemented by the end of the semester. Other colleges like Clark College are aiming for next fall. A man could spend the rest of his life in prison after he pleaded guilty to 2 murders that were a case of mistaken identity. Bennett Miller admitted to killing 29-year-old Fortress Oraki and 25-year-old Isi Akoria. The 2 were out celebrating a birthday last June in Northeast Portland. At the same time, Miller was out selling drugs. He mistook them for people he had held grudge against and shot both of them. At sentencing, the families of the victims shared these remarks.
A crime so diabolical. It makes absolutely no sense. It's a nightmare that we are still trying to dig ourselves out of, trying to understand.
Fortress was a brilliant light. He was insanely smart. He worked as a caregiver.
And as part of the deal, Miller will have the chance of parole after 32 years in prison. Negotiations for Boeing and the union representing its workers will meet again early next week. But for now, the production of planes like the 737 and 777 is at a standstill. Some 33,000 machinists are on strike. That includes about 1,200 people who work at Boeing's Gresham facility. In the end, they say overwhelmingly they voted to reject a contract offer and hit the picket lines over issues like pay, the cost of health care, and job security.
I'm not as proud as I was, 15, 20 years ago. There are people who literally cannot afford a house, and that's unfair.
We just want to provide for our families. Boeing had a chance to do the right thing, and they haven't done it yet, so they better hurry up and make a decision.
A Boeing spokesperson tells KGW they are committed to resetting their relationship with the employees and the union and are ready to reach a new agreement. Until then, machinists on the picket line will go without pay and could lose their benefits if they're not back at work by the end of the month. In Central Oregon, firefighters continue to make good progress with the Bachelor Complex fires, with evacuation levels slowing, coming down around Mount Bachelor, Sun River, and the areas in between. That's in part thanks to cooler weather. Mount Bachelor Resort has been closed since the fire sparked last weekend, but announced it will make plans to reopen this morning.